In the Spanish series La Casa de Papel, the professor says something brilliant. He says that, in the science of numbers, discipline equals 100. It wasn't just a funny line in a TV show. It was the absolute truth. But where does discipline come from? I believe it comes from willpower. And based on my experience, I am certain of it. I have told you my story in brief. My childhood, my poverty, my torture, my escape. But I haven't told you about my body, about what my body has endured, about how it became my greatest teacher. When I was 12 years old, I fell from a 4-story building. I was in a construction site. There was an elevator shaft. It was unfinished. There was no floor, just a hole in the concrete. I fell into that hole. I fell 4 floors down, and I landed on solid concrete. Took them nearly an hour to reach me, then another 35 kilometers to get me to the nearest government hospital in Damascus. The damage was catastrophic. The entire right side of my body was broken. Multiple fractures, some of them so fragile that any movement would break them again. I had a skull fracture, 48 stitches in my head. And this wasn't my first injury. When I was 6 years old, someone was throwing large rocks at me and my older brother. I took a rock to the left temple of my head. There were other injuries, other beatings, other wounds. You would think this would destroy me. You would think this would damage my brain, my ability to think, my ability to learn. But it didn't. I was the top student in my class. I memorized everything, not just words. I memorized page numbers. I memorized entire books. Years later, when I went to Lebanon and complained about insomnia, they diagnosed me with excessive overthinking. My brain never stopped working. It was always running, always processing, always fighting. I was shot 3 times while I was in Syria. I was tortured in detention. They crucified me like Jesus Christ. Literally. Arms stretched, body suspended, pain beyond description. And while they were torturing me, I thought about his suffering. I had nothing to confess, so I just endured. You would think my body was destroyed after all of this, that it was broken beyond repair. But it wasn't. After every injury, I would go to the mountains, the coastal mountains of Syria. Mountains so high they touched the clouds, dense forests, tall trees, harsh climate. But it was paradise. It was peace. It was honesty. It was the beauty of pure nature. Everything there was healthy. The air was so clean that your chest would feel tight for the first 2 days because your lungs weren't used to pure oxygen. My grandmother took care of me. The food wasn't expensive. It was local. Fresh cow's milk. Fresh eggs from village chickens. Some honey. And she would send me into the mountains. With my injuries. With my broken bones. With all my pain. She would say, "Go. Climb to the top of the mountain. Don't come back until noon." My body healed perfectly. The right side of my body, which had been shattered with fractures, became stronger than the left side. Years passed. I left Syria. I went to Lebanon. As I told you before, Lebanon is a beautiful country with beautiful people. But because of my nationality, because of the dangers, because I was always planning to leave, I worked for short periods and sat idle for long periods. I ate normal food, unhealthy food, because I had little money, because I lived in the city. You know how processed food is now. I became fat. I smoked heavily. I got tired from climbing just 2 or 3 floors. And then I thought, why am I doing this to my body? Why do I look like something I hate? Why do other people have beautiful bodies and great muscles and I have a bad body? If my grandmother were near me, would she be satisfied with all her hard work when I was young? I started researching how to diet, and I committed a crime against myself. For 1 month and 20 days, I followed an extreme diet. Only protein, some salad. I stopped everything. No bread, no sugar, no salt, nothing. I ate 500 grams of boiled chicken every day. Boiled so much it looked like an old sneaker. Some salad with nothing on it. Just apple cider vinegar. Disgusting taste. And the mistake here is that I deprived my body of any essential minerals or vitamins. I exercised at home, 1 hour every day. In 50 days, I lost 22 kilograms. Most of it was body fat. Then I returned to eating, but in a healthy way. I stopped eating anything processed. I went to the gym regularly. People tell you to follow light exercises, gentle workouts, take it easy. No, I fought my body and my thoughts every day. 2 hours in the gym, heavy weights, long workouts, short rest periods. Now my body weighs 96 kilograms. Yes, that's a lot of weight, but 84 kilograms of it is muscle. I set a goal for my body and I surpassed it. Am I satisfied? Unfortunately, no. You might look at me and see a toned, athletic body, full of strength. But my mind? I couldn't fight my mind completely. You can fight anything except your brain sometimes. My brain gave me an age that exceeds my real age. It made me look older than I am. Will I stop? Absolutely not. I convinced myself that my body is solid like the oak trees in those high mountains. And that's what my mind believes now. But let me tell you the most important lesson I learned from this journey. Discipline is not about motivation. Motivation is temporary. Motivation disappears. Discipline is about making a promise to yourself and keeping that promise every single day, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. When I was climbing those mountains as a child with broken bones, I didn't want to climb. I was in pain. I was tired. I wanted to stay in bed. But my grandmother didn't let me. She forced me to move. She forced me to fight my body. And my body responded. It healed. It became stronger. The same thing happened in the gym. There were days I didn't want to go. Days I felt weak. Days I felt like giving up. But I went anyway. I lifted the weights anyway. I fought my thoughts anyway. And my body responded. Your body is the most honest thing you own. It doesn't lie to you. It doesn't betray you. If you feed it garbage, it becomes garbage. If you feed it quality, it becomes quality. If you train it, it becomes strong. If you neglect it, it becomes weak. It's that simple. But here's the problem. Most people treat their bodies like trash. They eat processed food. They sit all day. They don't move. They don't exercise. And then they wonder why they feel bad, why they're depressed, why they have no energy. Your body and your mind are connected. When your body is weak, your mind becomes weak. When your body is strong, your mind becomes strong. I see people in the gym every day. Skinny people, fat people, old people, young people. And when I see someone who is very overweight or very skinny, struggling to work out, I feel immense happiness for them. I don't know why, but I feel proud of them. I try as much as possible to send them a message. I'm proud of you. If you need any help, I'm your brother here. Because I know what it feels like to fight your own body, to fight your own mind, to fight your own weakness. It's the hardest battle you will ever fight. Harder than any war. Harder than any enemy. But it's also the most important battle. Because when you win this battle, you become unstoppable. You become someone who can endure anything. Someone who can overcome anything. Someone who can achieve anything. I want to help you. If you're struggling with your body, I want to help you. If you're struggling with your health, I want to help you. If you're a man who feels weak and wants to become strong, I'm here for you. If you're a woman struggling with polycystic ovary syndrome or any health issue that's preventing you from changing, I'm here for you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional trainer. But I have lived through pain. I have lived through suffering. I have rebuilt my body from nothing. And I can help you do the same. Some of you might think I'm arrogant, that I'm bragging. But it's the opposite. Being in large, empty spaces always reminds me of the truth of everything. We are infinitely small creatures. We are a drop in the ocean, a grain of sand in the desert, a small leaf in the forests of high mountains. That's why when I see someone struggling in the gym, I don't judge them. I don't look down on them. I see myself. I see my struggle. I see my pain. And I want to help them. I want you to know that you're not alone, that your struggle matters, that your effort matters. Every time you go to the gym, you're fighting. You're resisting. You're refusing to accept weakness. And that makes you a warrior. So keep fighting. Keep struggling. Keep pushing. Because one day you will look in the mirror and you won't recognize yourself. You will see someone strong, someone healthy, someone proud, and that person will be you. If my story has inspired you, if it has motivated you, if it has given you hope, then subscribe. Join this community. Be part of this family. And please, share your struggles in the comments. Tell me your story. Tell me your pain. Tell me what you're fighting. Because I want to help you. I want to support you. I want to see you succeed. And I welcome your constructive criticism. I welcome your questions. I welcome your feedback. Thank you for listening to my journey.